In this video we emphasize the risks between commercial shipping and pleasure crafts. This video was made in close collaboration with reagieren. We want to make sure all those active on the water are aware of the risks between commercial and pleasure crafts. Extra attention should be paid to the blind spot of an inland ship and the behavior of waterway users. There are some typical types of inland barges that are often seen sailing on the rivers. All barges have a blind spot. What exactly is it? From the view of the boat master sitting in the wheelhouse, there is a zone on both sides and in front of the barge that is obstructed due to the shape of the barge. This is called the blind spot of the barge. This zone changes, depending on the type, position of the bridge, and loading condition of the barge. By law, a maximum blind spot of 350 meters is allowed in front of the bow. When a small pleasure craft navigates into the blind spot of a barge, the pleasure craft will often be partly or completely hidden to the boatmaster. From the viewpoint of the pleasure craft navigator, if you only see the top of the bridge of the barge, or if you cannot see the bridge at all, you should be aware that you are in the blind spot, thus are completely hidden to the boatmaster. During the day and with good visibility, navigation is generally done visually. Inland barges use a radar and often AIS in combination with an electronic chart or cameras to aid with navigation. However, if the pleasure craft is not equipped with an AIS, it will not be visible on the electronic chart. In areas where pleasure crafts can be expected, you should be extra alert and use all the relevant navigation equipment as well as aids like AIS and cameras. Make sure that all screens are set clear at all times. Each radar has a certain shadow in the coverage range. The closer and smaller a target is, the smaller the echo on the radar screen. The echo of a small-size pleasure craft without a radar reflector will hardly appear on the barge's radar screen, which means that it may not be recognized. It is therefore recommended to equip small pleasure craft with a radar reflector, as recommended on some waterways. The behavior of the crew of pleasure craft plays an important role in safe navigation. Follow the rules that apply on the inland waters. If possible, sail outside the fairway or keep the waterway free for commercial shipping as much as possible. Do not underestimate the speed of commercial ships and be aware that you are not always visible. Look back regularly and keep a close eye on the shipping around you. Let's look at some examples of dangerous situations. Situation number 1. An empty tanker barge, which commonly has a trim to the aft, is sailing at a speed of 18 km per hour. It has a blind spot of approximately 250 meters. There are many pleasure crafts sailing in the area. A container barge is sailing in the opposite direction. Suddenly, a pleasure craft comes out of the harbor and then makes a sharp left turn to come back in. This is an incident that actually occurred. Situation number 2. On a wide waterway, a container barge is sailing in the fairway of the commercial lane, which is demarcated by buoys. Suddenly, a sailing yacht makes a sharp turn across the fairway of the container barge. This is another incident that actually occurred. The root causes of these incidents are unexpected action on the part of the pleasure craft crew, in combination with the blind spot of the barge. Due to its small size and high speed, a pleasure craft can quickly move deep into the blind spot of a barge. The pleasure craft navigator may not be aware of the danger of the blind spot and the speed of the barges, and may have a lack of situational awareness to be able to respond appropriately. The barge master generally pays more attention to the other barges. While paying greater attention to the other sailing barges on the fairway, the barge master may not have any indication, either visual or via the nautical equipment, that could indicate that a small pleasure craft is sailing nearby. The following lessons can be learned. For pleasure craft crew: follow the rules. Stay to the fairway side. Although it is not mandatory to have a boating license, it is highly recommended that you follow a course and obtain a boating license. Be aware of the blind spot, the speed, and limited maneuverability of commercial ships. Equip your pleasure craft with a radar reflector, AIS, and VHF. Use communication equipment. Look regularly on your back. Be aware of the situation around you. Stay away from commercial ships as much as possible. For commercial shipping crew: Be aware of pleasure craft, especially in the summer season. Stay focused. Be aware of your blind spot. Use all relevant equipment like radar, AIS, and cameras to gather all information around you. Use sound signals in unsafe situations. We hope that this video contributes to an improved awareness for all persons on the water, and safe sailing on the inland waterways.